Hi, my name is Joi Lake. I'm going to be coloring and praying for Dave while I play our podcast that we recorded and published while he was in Costa Rica after his wife passed away. We are buddies. We are not a couple. I call him my stage husband because we used to sing and play for hospice patients when his wife was in Wildflower. These are our Zoom calls. The sound is a little sketchy with freezing, but we still had a lot of fun, so I thought I would play them and color and pray for him. This is episode 9.
Haven't heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to the Dave and Joy Show.
Oh,
Hello.
so what do you, normally I gotta wait. You usually put me on hold for a while, so,
You?
what?
Oh, because I usually come in right at the time, but this time I came in early.
I know, I couldn't believe it. I clicked on it, and it started rolling. I go, what?
Oh, well, I'll have to keep doing that then.
Yeah,
Oh.
so how you doing?
Good question. Yesterday was rough, but I made it through.
Good for you.
My new postcards came, so I can do more on TikTok now.
Nice.
Yep.
So, you're gonna send to my,
Did you send me their addresses?
she's gonna do it this morning, which is only
good.
9. Oh, so, yeah, it's 9 o'clock there, so.
Yeah.
It was just gonna take.
So the ones I send out on Tuesdays are the ones that I actually create. So just
Okay.
have a Bible verse and my logo, and then I color them, and then on the side where I do the address and who it's to, and then my return address, I also put each of the colors that I used on their card. I make a list and tell them what it represents, and at the top it says my prayers for you. So that's what I focused on, because that's what God had me focus on. So.
Oh.
Sometimes I color them without knowing who they're for, and then when it's time to start cutting them apart, because there's 4 on a page, when it's time to start cutting them apart and addressing them and stuff, then I know who they're for. So, but
Okay.
God already knows whose name is going to go on the card, so yeah.
Yeah, so once I get those, I'll try calling everybody again. I'm not gonna worry. She didn't have my brother's address. I couldn't find the addresses,
Oh,
but I don't know what happened to them. They're probably in here somewhere. But anyway, my brother in Salem, he wouldn't understand it anyway.
what do you mean?
Well, he wouldn't appreciate it. Let's say it's not.
It's not his thing?
Huh?
It's not his thing?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I mean, I could call him and get it, but
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
Well, if I'm doing the siblings that do care, then maybe he'll get the word of what it is, and he'll be like, hey, why'd you leave me out?
No, he won't get the word. Well, he might. Yeah, that's right. He talks to 2 of them. 3 of them don't talk to him much.
Well, if he wants to be included, then we'll need his address.
Okay, well, I'll call him up
Oh.
and just try to explain to him what you're doing.
Basically, I'm just praying for him, and God knows what he needs, but it's kind of like they have their own private prayer warrior.
Yeah, okay.
And, it's kind of feeling, like they're in my book. I don't know, it kind of feels some days like when I put people's names in my Bible, it's almost like how that verse talks about being in the book of life, God has
Yeah.
a book with his own names. So it's kind of like, if I have your name, you're in my prayers, and whether you feel like you have a close relationship with God or not, I have a close relationship. So I'm not saying I get you any closer to God. I just know that when I've prayed protection over people, who knows what they were protected from? They may not even know. So,
Right.
or for healing. The thing is, the card, I use black ink and black. When I'm praying, God has me focus on healing for people. So no matter what, the card always represents that I've prayed for healing for everybody. But also the card stock is white, and I for the past 4.5 years, I never knew what white was, and so last month, I was like, God, does white? What should I be focusing on? And finally, I got financial freedom was what He wanted me to focus on. So black and white is the cardstock and the ink. So it's always healing and financial freedom, no matter what. So that's good. Because everybody needs healing for something, emotional, spiritual, physical, whatever, and everybody wants financial freedom, so can't kind of go wrong with those.
Right.
Oh, and then whatever colors I use after that, there's 16 more after that that God can have me use. So I tend to do a lot of blues and greens, which are protecting and filling with the Holy Spirit and peace in the safety of God's arms. And then the other one I do a lot of is pink and purple. And purple is our protector. So I focus on thanking God that He's our protector. And then pink is joy. So, filling people with joy. That is my name, but in general, filling people with joy. People, they want to be happy. They want to, and so sometimes it'll pair up with orange, and orange is about obedience and breaking the chains of sin and stuff. So if orange and pink get paired together, then I tend to pray that they would have joy as they obey, joy and obedience. So brown's a good one too. Brown is heart and mind stayed on the things of God. So that's always fun when I'm praying and coloring in brown. It's like, yeah, it's kind of fun to pray with that one. So anyway, but the colors, I don't have to physically, like when I get in the zone and I forget to like the coloring is actually the praying part for me sometimes. Like I don't have to form the words till later. So sometimes I just get in the zone and I'm just coloring, and He'll have me pick out like 3 colors for everybody. And then other times He'll have me like have 2 or 3 colors that kind of everybody gets. And then once in a while there'll be like, I have to go pull another color. The Spirit leads me to go grab another color for certain cards. And so that's really cool when it's like, it really is personal. Like people, because it's Spirit led, it can become very personal, and I don't know what everybody's going through. Only God does, and only they know. So it's like the Holy Spirit's giving them a big hug through me, I guess, is kind of how it feels. Because it's like He knows, Holy Spirit knows what they need. And whether somebody knows the Lord or not, me praying for them matters.
There's one thing about me that confused me is whenever I talk about praying, I gotta say it fast, or something to that effect, I get way emotional.
So, yeah. I think what I didn't anticipate was how emotionally draining praying for people can be. I forget it's not just, it's not just putting a label on a card. It's not just doodling. It's like part of my soul goes with these cards. You know, it's like I have to remember to recharge. I
Right.
can't just go and do and give and not recharge. So I have to remember that.
You need downtime, yeah.
Yeah, and I have to make sure that I'm refilling my spiritual life when I've given so much of it. So there's times like November and December were really tough on me, and I kind of checked out of TikTok a lot because was I just was feeling the burden.
Right, right.
My prayer has been, that story that talks about the son and his father's son on the beach, and the little boy was throwing not seahorses, starfish that had washed up on the beach, and he was throwing them back in, and there was thousands of them, and the dad's like, you can't save them all. It's not going to matter. And the little boy picks up a starfish and throws it in the water and says, well, it mattered to this one.
Yeah.
And so I was focused on trying to save every starfish, not saving them, but I wanted to make a card for every single person on TikTok that wanted one, and I just got really overwhelmed. Like, I can't do it all. I can't throw them. I can't make a card for every single one. It's not physically possible, and especially not emotionally possible. But I can do what I can. So my prayer changed from I really want to make a card for everybody, to God, create something to where it creates a whole wave that will pull them all back in the ocean. Like, help me find something big that will give them all a big hug at the same time. So part of what my idea is now is, I make these cards. This is one of my first ones, and it's bigger. They don't fit on the screen good. That's why I have, it's backwards. It says, you are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. So
Yeah.
I created this card and I colored it. So when I started this card, it just had the words and the logo, and I had put the star outlines. And then I have funky scissors that do an edging thing, and they don't all look perfect, but they're perfectly imperfect. And just like we're perfectly imperfect. And I figured out that some of these cool designs that I've made, and given to my TikTokers, they haven't sent me their mailing address, so I have a huge stack of cards that I've done that I can't mail, and I realized I might be able to figure out how to put them into the computer program and create a file, create a picture that I can then put onto T-shirts online and sell on Amazon. So then have the print, but the person whose name is actually on the card. I mean, can you imagine how cool it would be to have your card on a T-shirt, knowing it's your card, that your name's on it, and that you can have it mailed at any time. So anyway, I should do that for you, since I can't mail you stuff. I should put your name on there and make you cards, and then put yours on T-shirts. That's what I should do. It'd be the only way to, for you to see them and get them. And
Yeah.
I don't know, can you get Amazon shipments or anything down there?
Well, yeah, I know you can, because a neighbor ordered a king size or California size king bed. We got it somewhere.
Oh, wow.
I'll work on that once we get our vaccine here.
Okay.
And right now, I'm just gonna remain depressed and.
No, that's not allowed.
Okay. Well, could you take a picture and email me?
I can, yeah. Yeah, I
and
can.
Then I'll archive it.
The other thing I can do, you watch YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
So why don't I make yours into the YouTube videos I do?
Yeah, what do I have to do to get in there? Just put your name?
I can send you the link. But yeah, if you go into Coloring Prayer Warriors on YouTube and you subscribe to me, then when I put a new video, It might notify you if you have your notifications.
Okay. I gotta write it down. Sorry.
It's 3 words, but I'm not sure. I think on YouTube they're separated. I'm not sure. On TikTok they're all pushed together, but it's coloring, prayer, warriors with an S. I'm only one person right now, but maybe someday I won't be the only one doing this. Oh, guess what?
What?
When I edited that video in the middle of the night the other night, number 7, sorry, podcast.
I listened to it, yeah.
Yeah. I put it on Facebook with a link, and I had put something to the effect of, when you take a nap and you oversleep and you can't get yourself, peel yourself off the mattress, then you can't at night. So look what I did tonight. and I put a link to the podcast. So my son John called me and said, "Hey Momo, I listened to your podcast and I really liked it." So that was really fun. Yeah. So hey John, if you're listening.
Hey John, thanks. We're doing the best we can.
Thanks, John. Thanks, man, for listening.
Right on, you rock.
Tell all your friends. Send the link to all your friends. You have lots of Facebook friends. Could have like a shout out time, like people that are listening. We could have like special segment to shout out to all our listeners. So we know my mom listens sometimes. So hey mom, thanks for listening.
Yeah, you rock. Okay, well.
Brothers and sisters, I hope you're listening, and if you are, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll be sending you cards next week, so I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they're listening now, but.
Well, no, of course not. It's our private Zoom call. But when I put it in a podcast,
right? Oh, I got you.
You can send them the link, and then you can put a little note in there saying, "Hey, we said hi to you on our podcast."
Yeah, on YouTube, if you just type in Bible James, and it'll bring up, and they'll talk to you. It's an audio.
Oh, right. Yeah, they'll
audio book or anything. But
yeah, you can look. Yeah, I've done that when I just need to have something on in the background, and I'll pull that up sometimes. Any of the books of the Bible, you can have them right. Yeah. Kind of cool, and some of them have sound effects, and some of the narrators are really good. So.
Yeah, David Mendy, my landlords there.
Oh yeah, they're so sweet. They're so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They were anyway. So he gave me a link to Bible verses that sometimes I having trouble sleeping, and stuff. Mm. He goes, "This might calm you." I can't even. Might even been part music too. I don't know. But it was just, and I tried to, and it just wouldn't come on. So.
Oh, bummer.
I never could get it operational. But
you might try that YouTube thing where you type in a book of the Bible and have it read to you, because there's times when I just want, like, sometimes when my brain won't stop working, but I need to sleep. And I know that if I don't take a nap at this moment, I'm not going to get one, and I'm going to have a really hard time finishing the rest of the day. I'll put a YouTuber who talks for a really long time, and there's valuable information that I hope I glean while I'm going to sleep and waking up, and maybe even while I'm sleeping. Or I've put on the Bible being read in the background, and it's very calming to hear a man's voice speaking for a really long time, and it, at least for me, it just calms me down and helps me relax enough, and my brain has something to focus on, and my body's like, okay, finally, now I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll get a really good nap for my body while my brain is still wired and going. So it's good. It helps me, rest at least, so that I can keep going through the day, because my days, they don't really ever end. They just kind of, when I'm ready to hit the sack and go to bed, sometimes he's not home yet. So it's like, okay, I still have another 3-hour stint to go.
Wow. Yeah.
Especially
I know.
if he closes the store, we don't go to bed before 10 usually. and we're up at 4.
That's usually when I go to bed, but I've been sleeping pretty good, but for some reason, so it's got to be some, I'm not as, I think I went through a depression,
Mhm.
a lot of different things,
Yeah.
CJ being one of them. But yeah, I've been sleeping pretty good, but I still, like I go swimming and stuff. Of course, it's warm in here because I don't want to turn the AC on at 12 and 3, otherwise they double the rates.
Oh
Yada
wow.
yada. Yeah, they did that and they don't tell you, but we were able to find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I just get tired and I just don't fight it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just watching, I can't remember some some movie that really meant nothing. I just turned it on because it used English. And but it was only like maybe a 30-minute little, you know,
Yeah.
nap. And I got up and started feeling better and stuff.
Oh good.
But yesterday, man, I went to the ocean and the tide was in pretty high. Like I said, when it's high tide like that, it doesn't take long and you run out of. I mean, you can't touch the ground.
Mhm.
And the breakers are still coming in. And I just don't want to venture out after that last little episode.
Right.
But so I swam just a little bit, but I did see this one guy, and he was doing that paddleboard thing, where you get on a surfboard and got a paddle.
Standing up?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and he was going right through that stuff,
Oh.
and he was a big guy, and he had a belly and stuff. But I'm thinking he was probably a football player
Oh.
who was actually quite strong, or was, because I mean he was cutting through that stuff, and he got on a wave or just surfing like, oh wow, that's just
Nice.
pretty impressive.
That's cool.
Yeah, so not all those cut buff guys don't have to be.
As long as
But
you
it's
have
pretty.
the strength to make it happen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, speaking of that, when you were working out, you ever get that? When you get that feeling, it's not burn. I mean, I used to do that. I walk till I burned or ached,
Yeah.
or or climb mountains or that type of thing. But you just get that feeling in your legs, and it just feels so good. Like
Oh.
you worked out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's.
I haven't felt that in a while. I need to get my rear end in gear. So
Gotta go for a walk when the wind's not blowing. It's not icy.
that won't happen then. I
Oh,
have
okay.
been taking walks, and I was trying to figure out why, and so I have this running story in my head that I'm not supposed to walk alone because I'm a girl. And I thought, it must go deeper than that because I really have an issue with going out on a walk. And I thought having a puppy would change that. I'd take her for walks and it'd be great. But it's almost like I don't have permission to go. So then I remembered, how things that happen in our lives that we do stem from childhood stuff.
Right.
Traumatizing, right? Well, I remember in kindergarten or something around that age group, I was supposed to, I must have, like, my mom was going to pick me up from school or I was supposed to ride the bus or something. But I remember seeing this group of kids and they were walking home and I was like, I want to do that. And so I wasn't on the same side of the road as them and I wasn't with them, but I just was on the opposite side of the busy road. And I walked and they walked. Well, of course, my parents couldn't find me. They didn't know where I was. I'm like 6'5", something like that. And not cool, right?
That tapping was something with Zoom. We
Oh,
couldn't
that,
figure out how to make
yeah.
it stop. Sorry about the tapping.
So I remember sitting on a bar stool type of stool, like a stool that was out in the garage. We must have had a garage. So I must have been in kindergarten, and it probably was springtime because I remember that everything was green. The grass was green, the leaves on the trees were green. It was a nice day. and and I think my friends were walking. And I think that's why I thought it was okay. so So, and the only house I ever remember having a garage that would have had one of those stools, workshop stools, was that first house we lived in when we first moved to Idaho. And I remember sitting on that stool and my dad going in the house and saying, "You need to sit here. I got, you're going to get a spanking. You cannot walk home alone. And I am really angry and you scared us." And then he went inside the house. I think he was trying to figure out how to calm down enough to spank me so he didn't hurt me, because he's a big guy and he's really strong, and I don't know what the conversation was. And it's it could have been, does she actually deserve a spanking, or I mean, I don't know what it was, but it's I didn't do it to be mean or horrible. I wasn't running away. I just was on a walk.
Right.
But when you can't find your little kid, you get scared. And so
Oh yeah.
you get scared, there's an anger and there's a sadness and there's a fear and there's scared and all these emotions. So I think he actually had to calm down before he spanked me. And I don't remember the actual spanking. I just remember sitting in the garage by myself thinking, but I wanted to walk home and I didn't get hurt.
Right.
So I have this running story still at almost 48. I turned 48 next week is my birthday. Anyway, and I still have this story. I can't go for a walk alone. Isn't that weird? 42 years later? It's
Yeah, but it does make sense.
So I have the exercise bike and the trampoline and the rowing machine. Anyway, I have the exercise stuff, and I just need to, I have been depressed, and I am frustrated with my living situation of the house not getting, it's not a priority right now because it can't be, and it's frustrating to live in that situation. So, I could work on it, but I have to work on this stuff because this is what's going to lead, hopefully, to a functioning business at some point. And money makes the world go round when you need work done. So, it takes money to put the new roof on and the new siding and the new windows and the new doors and so I need to focus on that.
Back to that, it was funny. I talked to my sister Glenda for about an hour. I think I mentioned.
Yeah.
But she said, remember turning the 18th Street where we live. And anyway, walking home from school, and we started pretty young. My mom walked us the first year, I think, but it was a lot safer back then.
Right.
That was even 3-4 years. For you were
I know. I don't feel like I'm that much younger than you, but apparently I am.
Yeah, well, you don't look it. But anyway,
you don't look it either, so.
Walk on. Stuck on the rock thing now. But she said she remembered a guy pulled over and asked if she wanted a ride. Mm-hmm. And she just, she didn't do it, of course.
Right.
But she must have learned something from her parents, because you better not to get in the car. Yeah. I don't know what age she was, but that would not have ended well.
No.
That type of thing. But anyway, I still remember that day just clear as could be. You're talking about, you're going back. And, one thing also, this is a changing subject, but whatever. But when I went to the ocean yesterday, the wind was blowing a little bit. mean, it blew pretty good, but it was cloud cover a little like today. And man, once I got off my bike and started walking cloud came over the sun, and I felt cold.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and it was 90 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that weird? I mean, I have acclimated.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because when I got in the water, it was actually when the sun's not out, the water's a little cooler, just a couple degrees, but I could tell the difference. But I did, a little bit of swimming and got out and was cold again until I dried off. The sun came out a little.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, because it's still 90 degrees outside. Yeah. I mean, because I got cold there at 36, 40.
Yeah, the wind is blowing and it snowed this morning, so. And it was a little slushy when I took the trash cans out to the road. So, yeah.
Oh. And I now have this.
Oh, you have pavement finally?
Yeah, on one side they got to do the other side. Let this set up, and then let the cars go and they'll start working on the other side.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, a lot less dust, so I have to go out and I'm gonna wait till they're done with the other side, and then I'll do a sweep, for the balcony.
Yeah. But that's awesome. You've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, once it's all done, I mean, that'll make that ride, especially in the rain, a lot nicer from mud.
Well, and then you also can keep your windows open and it'll be cooler in your house, right?
Yeah, I could open it up, like in the morning I would open it up, and pretty soon you'd see the cars go by and the produce trucks and all that.
The dust.
Yeah, it's like it blows them back. But, on this side of me, is my front door, there's I don't know what it is, some god-awful smell that comes in. Wind blows this way.
Yeah.
And there's a field there and they cut it all down, there's lots.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, I don't know what it is, I mean, I don't know if it's unhealthy or what, but landfill somewhere close by or what.
Oh, that's possible. We used to have, in Korea, when you drive around the base of Camp Humphreys, the backside, the fence was up against fields. So what people don't know that is in Korea, it's legal to use human waste as manure.
Oh, that's nice. Down in Mexico, it was for a long time. I don't know.
Yeah, so you drive along that backside. A lot of people avoided it. So, yeah, you drive along that backside, take a nice, scenic route, and next thing you know, you're like, oh gosh, that's gross.
Knee deep in the hoopla. Ooh.
Gross, yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful to drive it, and it wasn't more than 5 minutes, but it's like, yeah. So, people, they do things different everywhere you go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just like I can't flush toilet paper here.
Oh, you can't? Okay, I'm not coming.
Well, probably will now since they put a sewer line in.
Oh, okay.
It was a septic system.
Oh.
It got too much. It wasn't built to take toilet paper. It doesn't go in. But I did get a trash can that opened and closed. But with the lid on the garbage, it doesn't sting.
Hey, what kind of stove is that behind you? I always see that. Is it like a little one like you'd have in a camper, like a little propane stove? Is it small?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which I don't, right now it's out of propane, and I don't use it anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have before, like to make an omelet stuff, but you can do eggs in the microwave.
They don't taste as good, but yeah.
Whatever, I don't really care. I just throw cheese and stuff in there. And
makes it all better.
It's all fine, a little pepper.
Joining us on our show today. We're really glad you stopped by.
Listen to the rest of this conversation on episode 9.5.
Thanks for joining me. See you later.